Hello folks, this is Sullla once again, and you're listening to a commentary video for League of Legends, this one featuring Morgana. So this is another game taken from our Tuesday YouTube night, played this just yesterday, and in this game I'm going to be playing as Morgana, alongside Kinoken playing as Ashe, Ninja Squid playing as Nautilus, Maya Kutsu playing as Shyvana, and Ketchup Bottle playing as Warwick. Then, on the other side of the team, on the purple side of the map, we have Penguins playing as Nunu, Phoenix Soulblade playing as Sona, Kevin plays Lol playing as Riven, Scroto T. Baggins playing as Sivir. I've had him in a video before, and I do enjoy that name. And then Spreakaway jungling for them as Jarvan. So those are the two teams, and we should be just about ready to get this game started. Once again, thanks to everybody who's been showing up for the Tuesday night games. We've been having really great turnout of late. Yesterday, we actually had the highest viewer turnout that I've ever had on the stream. We actually had 300 people watching at the top point, which is really awesome, and I'm really impressed to see that. So it's great that so many people have been able to just tune it out and check out what we're doing. And I actually had about 100 people in the Sullla chat room at the high point of the game last night. So that's really cool. The only one downside is it is more difficult to get as much interaction with the viewers. It was easy when I had like 10 people watching the games to be able to do a lot of games with each person. When there's 100 people in the chat room, then sometimes, unfortunately, there are people that I'm going to just miss that I won't be able to get a chance to play a game with. So again, apologies for that, but there is only one of me and there are a lot of you. So I feel bad for people who showed up and wanted to get a chance to play and didn't get the opportunity. But unfortunately, there's not a whole lot I can do about that just because I can only play for so long. We actually ran the game night for the YouTube night for about 6 hours yesterday and played, I think, 7 games. So got quite a few people. I think we got about 60 people the opportunity to play. But there are limits to what I can do since I do have to go to work the next day and I can't spend all day playing games. Anyway, though, let's get to this game and look at what's going on in this game. Again, I'm going to be playing Morgana in this game, and I don't play a lot of Morgana, despite the Blade Mistress skin, or whatever this one's called, one of the ones that I really like. I really don't play Morgana that much, and I'm trying to get in a little bit of extra practice with her. I also haven't done a Morgana video in a very long time. So, by the way, that is one of the skins that you can pick up from Morg, and I actually bought this even though I didn't play Morgana very much, just because I really like this skin, just kind of like the look of it for whatever reason. So anyway, I'm going to try to talk a little bit about Morgana's gameplay, as usual, when I try to highlight a champion, and then just go through and cover the gameplay as well in this game. This was the first game that we did on the night. So I'll try to go through, give you the laning matchups, and then talk a little bit about what's going on in the game as we go through. Can I get the minion? No, can't get that. Anyway, I have an unusual laning matchup here. I am against Penguins, who is playing an AP Nunu here, and I'll say more about that in a minute. But meanwhile, first of all, Maya Kutsu playing Shyvana against Kevin plays Lol, playing as Riven in top lane. Common laning matchup. Down here in bottom lane, we have Kinoken playing as Ashe and Ninja Squid playing as Nautilus. And yes, this is a support Nautilus. You can see Spreakaway the jungler coming in, jungle Jarvan ganking them against a Sivir Sona bottom lane. Pretty standard there. And then meanwhile, Ketchup Bottle is jungling as Warwick for us. So anyway, yes, this is AP Nunu, a very unusual setup here. Not something you're going to see very often. AP Nunu it's a little gimmicky. It's based on using his snowball to harass in lane and then just consuming minions for sustain. So it's a little bit gimmicky. It doesn't scale well in the late game since he only really gets AP for his snowball and his ultimate. But it can be strong in the laning phase. And one other thing is Penguins, notice what he's done. He has 48 AP right here at level 2. So he's running... He's got the Doran's Ring, and he must be running all AP runes in order to do this build, and that's, again, kind of typical of what you're doing with AP Nunu. So anyway, I am playing as Morg. I want to talk more about Morg then. Just wanted to highlight this matchup. Again, I'm trying to use my pool here. Now, I did have a decision to make. When I hit level 3, I was trying to decide, should I put a point in Black Shield or should I put another point in Tormented Soil? Now, normally you'd put it in Tormented Soil, but a point in her Black Shield would really help against these snowballs. And I decided to put another point in Tormented Soil to help me farm, but unfortunately that's really going to come back to bite me here in just 1 second, because I've already been ganked once by the jungler, as we meanwhile get first blood in top lane. So anyway, right here, I'm just trying to farm these minions. I've already been ganked once by the jungler, and I'm going to get ganked by the jungler again any second now. Jeez, I thought it was sooner. I shouldn't have given this away. But not having a point in my Black Shield turned out to be a huge problem right here, because it meant that I wasn't able to block the snow from Nunu's snowball. See right here, I get slowed, and now here comes Jarvan with double buff. I actually am going to hit the binding on Spreakaway, but he manages to jump in and hit me, and then Penguins is going to use Flash and Ignite, and they're going to get that kill. So that was pretty well done. I actually did even hit my binding, but Jarvan was able to get off his spear into the flagpole toss anyway, and so they were able to score a kill there. And I was like, I really should have put a point in Black Shield, because that would have prevented me from dying there. So anyway, let me go through and cover Morg's skills, just for anyone who hasn't played her. I think she's been around since the game started, so most people are probably familiar with her, but I'll still go through and talk about them anyway. Her Q is her Dark Blinding. This is a targeted skill shot, fires a bolt of dark energy towards target location, binds the first unit hit to the ground for 2 seconds, and deals magic damage. The AP ratio is also quite good on this. I think it's like 0.8. I believe it's 0.8, not 100% sure. And there's another Jarvan gank in top lane that's going to give them a second kill here. So again, Dark Binding is a point skill shot. Whoever gets hit gets binded to the ground. They cannot move. They actually can still auto attack, but they can't move. So there is, let's scroll down here. There it is. Just fires in a straight line, and it roots them to the ground for 2 seconds. So it's a very useful skill. You can set up all sorts of interesting plays through the use of the Dark Binding. Excuse me. You can set up all kinds of plays with this. If you catch someone out, then oftentimes if you can hit the skill shot, it's just like an instant kill because of the setup. Anyway, so that's her first skill. Her W skill is the one that's most useful for farming. This is her Tormented Soil, also known as her Pool. Toss this down on the ground. Enemies on the ground deal magic damage and have MR reduced every second for 5 seconds. So there's the Dark Binding right there. So Morgana's basic combo is you bind someone with a Dark Binding, and then you toss down the Tormented Soil. And because they can't move, they take damage over time. The dot as they stand inside her pool. And it's also really good for farming. 3 points in it will be enough to farm the caster minions. Once you hit level 5 and you put 3 points in it, it will farm the caster minions for you. So really useful skill, really quite nice. Great for farming. Morg's really easy to push the lane with. You can just go push the lane, hit the minions, and then go off and farm something else or go gank another lane. Now her E skill is her Black Shield, and this is one of the more interesting skills in the game. It works kind of like Janna's shield. Janna's E skill, her Eye of the Storm, puts a shield around a friendly target. See right there, I use it. That blocks incoming magic damage and prevents disables while the shield holds. So when you use this skill, it will block magic damage. It does nothing against physical damage, only magic damage, but it will block any magic damage done, and you avoid getting disabled. So for instance, if I use Black Shield to block that Nunu Snowball, then I actually will not get slowed by it either, and you'll see the little spell immune. So what this means is that Morgana is a very, very hard counter to AP Nunu. Unfortunately for Penguins, we did this in blind pick. We did not do this draft mode, and his AP Nunu just got completely hard countered by my Morgana pick, because anytime he tries to toss a snowball, I can just Black Shield it, and I won't take much damage. I should be able. The shield should absorb most of the damage, and I won't get slowed either. So that really defeats the purpose of what he's trying to do. So like, see right there, he wants to snowball me. I block it, and I take like no damage. I think I took like 50 damage from it for something like that. So the fact that I have Black Shield and the fact that Morg's passive gives her innate spell vamp, that allows me to sustain in lane, and it prevents AP Nunu from doing what he wants to do. Now the way that Nunu works, as far as an AP Nunu build goes, is what he wants to do is he wants to harass you down with snowballs and then use his Blood Boil to give him extra movement speed so he can use his auto attack. Nunu's passive allows him to cast spells for free if he auto attacks a lot. So he wants to just keep snowballing you over and over again and cast that snowball for free, no mana cost, through the use of his passive and through Blood Boil. But as Morgana, I can just spell shield all those snowballs, and then I can sustain with my Tormented Soil because I've got free spell vamp coming in. So unfortunately, I really hard counter his champion pick. And let's see, like right here, I was expecting he was going to snowball me, so I used Black Shield a little bit prematurely. And watch what Penguins is going to do. He's going to come in, and then he's going to snowball me while the Black Shield's on cooldown. So I still have to be, smart about how I'm doing this. I'm actually going to drink the health potion right there. So he's kind of baited out the Black Shield, and that was pretty nicely done on his part, which is what he's trying to do by running up next to me. Now the other thing, if he runs up right next to me, I can bind him with my Dark Binding. But it's not that useful to really harass Nunu in lane all that much, just because he can consume minions, and he's going to get healed off of the consume. So unless I think I can kill him, harassing's not going to do all that much. Then finally, Morgana's ult, which I haven't talked about. It's a bit of an unusual ult to use because you never actually target it. It deals magic damage to nearby champs, and it puts a soul shackle on them. If that shackle is still on them after 3 seconds, they get stunned. So they deal additional damage and get stunned. So it's a really nice ult for team fighting. and I'll try to use this later on. Now, the other thing that I'm doing that deserves commenting on is notice what I did. I went and bought a ward and tossed it down here, and now I'm going and stealing the wraiths from Nunu repeatedly away from their jungler. This is something you want to look to do if you have an AP in mid. You want to look to take away you want to look to try to take the wraiths as much as possible, and this is really an ideal setup for it. So I actually used Dark Binding to get that minion kill because I couldn't reach it with auto attack. Because I have area of effect damage, I have AoE damage, I can toss down my pool and it will farm the minion wave, and it will farm it quickly. Nunu does not have that same AoE damage. And there's a couple kills going on elsewhere, but I'm trying to focus on this laning matchup here. Anyway, I have AoE damage, I can nuke down the creep wave very quickly, whereas Nunu cannot. So what that allows me to do is it allows me to run around and grab extra farm. See, look at this. Notice how he can only attack one at a time. He only has single target damage. Right there, I was actually trying to hit the minion with that. So that gives me time I can push the lane to tower, and then while he's farming at tower, I can do one of two things. I can go gank a side lane, I can go to top, I can go to bottom, or I can go and farm. So in that case, you saw me going and taking his wraiths right there. And like right here, I'm going and taking the wolves. And I can do this because notice how my lane is pushed to tower. I'm not missing any minion kills here. I can just go take the wolves and then come back to lane. Now, the ideal situation is to take the other junglers' farm away, so it's preferable to take their wraiths if at all possible, just because you're not stealing farm from your own jungler. But I could go and take those wolves because Warwick was way down here, and by the time he gets back up to our wolves, they're going to respawn. And right here, Penguins baited out another black shield. They did that rather nicely. So I'm ready to go back to base. I'm real low on mana. I want to get my catalyst, so I'm just farming this minion wave. And now I'm going to go back to buy. And look how slow I am with that max rank snowball that he's tossed on me with his Ice Blast. Now, there was a team fight going on in bottom lane. We got an Ashe arrow. We got a Warwick ultimate. Let's go back there and see. Are they going to be able to finish off this kill? No, not Scroto T. But yes, it is going to be a kill right there. So our team is actually doing quite well in the side lanes as well. Now in mid, because I've been farming quite well in mid, and because I've been taking those wraiths away from them, notice how far I'm ahead. I've got 80 minion kills to 54 for Penguin. So even though I did die the one time in lane, I've outfarmed them by a pretty good margin, and now that I have my catalyst, I'm in good shape. Team is going to do dragon. It should be safe. Why? Because we double killed bottom lane, and Jarvan is covering bottom tower. So that means there's really nobody free to go and contest that dragon. And right there, I'm not sure what happened to my Dark Binding. It just kind of disappeared there. So anyway, Nuna's already had, Nuna's been taking blue buff, and I have not gotten a blue as yet. I'm not sure if they took away our blue or if it was just on our Warwick player catch-up bottle, but I haven't had that blue, so I've had to be a little bit careful about using my mana. It's like right there is the spell shield. Now at this point in time, I've hit level 9, I've maxed out my Tormented Soil. At this point, I have to decide, do I want to max out my Binding next, or do I want to max out my Black Shield next? And normally, what you will do with Morgana is you'll max out her Binding next. But the problem was, see, I've already put a second point in Binding, but the problem was I was taking so much harass from Nunu Snowball. Now, because he has 5 points in the skill, he can just get through my shield, which is still only at 1 point in the skill. So I was like, okay, what I need to do to defend against these snowballs is I need to start putting more points in Black Shield. I'm going to need to put the next 2 points into Black Shield. Well, not at 11 because I'll put in my ultimate, but whatever. You get the point. I need to start putting more points in Black Shield because otherwise I don't have a strong enough shield to start blocking those snowballs. So that's what I need to look to do next. So that's just me trying to, again, adapt to the lane that I'm playing in. And again, notice how the Tormented Soil is just farming those minions for me, so that means I'm free to go up here and I can go do something else. Now, I was going to go to top lane to go, and we were going to look to go gank the top lane, but look what I run into here. Spreakaway is right here, so I'm going to pop on my shield. I'm going to pop my ultimate. Here he goes, using the Soul Shackles. We actually mistimed the Warwick ult, but while he's stunned, I can toss my Binding on, and that's a free hit, so we're going to score the kill right there. Here comes Penguins, here comes Kevin's Plays Lol. So we've got a 3-on-2, but Ketchup and I are a bit low. And I really didn't think this was the best fight to take on, especially when I missed that Binding. If I had hit that Binding, we probably could have gone for the kill, but I didn't like us continuing to fight once that was down. And now watch what Penguins is going to do right here. He's going to snowball, and then he's going to use his ultimate, and Mayakutsu, he's going to use Shyvana ult to dash out of there, which is nicely done. If he stayed inside that Nunu ult, he would have gotten nailed. He certainly would have gotten killed. I actually did hit on a completely blind Dark Binding, but really, I've pinged for us to fall back like 3 times, and I'm like, look, let's just back here. As it turns out, though, they're going to back out. They're going to leave, and then I'm going to be free to go and do that blue. So it was actually a really nice play on the part of their jungler, Spreakaway. He knew our blue was about to be up, and he was trying to take it when it spawned. But as it turned out, we kind of got a little bit lucky because I was heading up to top, and I just sort of ran right into him there. And then Ketchup Bottle and myself were able to combine our ults. We did not sync up our ults as well as we could have. We actually had Morg ult the stun from Morg ult and the stun from the suppression from Warwick ult running at the same time. So that was a little bit suboptimal, but it did work out right there. You want to try to time the stuns so that they don't overlap, if at all possible, so that like right when Morg stun's about to wear off, then you use the Warwick ult, or vice versa. But anyway, we were able to chain up our crowd control, and I'm in pretty good shape right now. Gonna go back to base. I have Catalyst, I have Sorcerer's Shoes, and I'm trying to get my Rod of Ages. Rod of Ages, a great item on Morgana. Because of the way her ult works, she needs to run into the middle of an enemy team to use her ult, so she needs to be a little bit tankier than a lot of other APs. So you want to stack up a little bit of extra health, and Rod of Ages gives her health, ability power. It's really one of the key items on her. Usually a Morgana build is based somewhere along the lines of Rod of Ages, Sorc Shoes, Death Cap, and Zanya's Hourglass. Hourglass is really good on Morgana. And right there I'm going to block the snowball with my spell shield. Zanya's Hourglass, really good. You can run right into the middle of the enemy team, and then right when they try to focus you, you pop your stasis from Zanya's Hourglass, and your ult still will keep ticking. Anyway, right there I was trying to hit a binding, but I totally whiff. Still, it's okay. Why? Because I have blue buff, so no need to worry about it. I can just spam, and if I miss, oh well. It's not that big a deal. I've got blue buff. I've got infinite mana right now. So in terms of laning, I'm at 113 minion kills and Penguins is at 77. So I'm very far ahead of him right now in farm. And again, just due to the fact that it's easier for me to farm the lane with my skills, again, I can toss down that Tormented Soil, and then that's going to get all the caster minions. Then I just have to last hit there. I was actually not trying to hit Nunu. I was trying to get the cannon minion there, and once again I'm able to block his snowball harass. So again, this is why it's such a hard counter. I just pop on my black shield, absorbs 200 magic damage, and that basically eliminates his snowball. Now dragons respawn, we're going for it. We have the pink wards, they don't have vision, but Streakaway must have had the timer. Here he comes. We are going to get the smite, and now right there Warwick ult, and then into Morgana ult, and right here that is going to get the kill. Meanwhile Penguins though is using his Nunu ult, and wow, look how much damage that does now that he has AP, but it's not quite going to finish anyone off, and I'm going to drop my pool. He's going to flash into the brush, but I'm going to toss down my pool, and that first tick of the Tormented Soil is going to finish him off. So we're actually going to go 2 for 0 in that fight. They came in, they tried to interrupt, and that Nunu ult did just crazy damage. If Nunu builds AP, his ult does unbelievable amounts of damage, but it wasn't quite enough to finish anybody off, so we were able to get out of it. And now I'm going to go and push mid while Penguins is down, while he's reviving. There is a fight going on in bottom lane. Looks like it was a trade of the two. Looks like the two carries were exchanged there. Or no, actually no, Ashe just died, so that was a little bit silly. But anyway, Ketchup Bottle and I are going to use this time to go and take this mid tower. So we really come out far, far ahead. We took Dragon, got 2 kills, and took middle tower. So that was a huge, huge play in this game in terms of putting us further ahead. Meanwhile, now Ketchup's doing the same thing. Notice he's coming up here to try to steal race, and he's got it warded too. Again, very key. And again, here comes Penguins. So he is going to get snowballed here, but I'm just going to run up, and I'm going to toss another black shield on to prevent another snowball from hitting. So we're going to be able to get out of there no problems. And now we're really in good shape. I need to go back to buy because I want to go finish off that Rod of Ages. It won't start stacking up the bonus until I go and get it. But at this point, I decided, I really would like to get these wolves before I go back, because notice the gold here, the little gold symbol on here, that means the wolves have built up their full passive bonus. So it was definitely worth it to grab that before going back. Okay, so what to focus on right now? We're in a very comfortable position. We're out farming them. I have by far the most farm in the game. No one on their team has cracked 85 yet, which is quite low for this point in time in the game. I'm more or less right where I would like to be. Perfect farm would have me around like 160, but I mean, I'm not perfect. I'm far from a professional player, so I'm pretty happy with where I am right now. I just kept taking the wraiths over and over again, and if you can just do that, you should really look to do that as an AP if you can. It just puts you so far ahead if you can keep taking those wraiths. Right there, we had an Ashe arrow coming in, maybe a little ambitious, but I mean, it came reasonably close. I guess it wasn't that bad of an idea. And now look, what's up again? The Wraiths. So Ketchup Bottle doing a nice job. Oh no, actually no, the Wraiths just haven't respawned. He took out the big Wraith, and then they just never respawned. So we should probably look to do that. And meanwhile, I'm just still farming. But I do need to go back to buy. I definitely need to cash in my Rod of Ages so I can start stacking up the bonus relatively soon. So I was thinking about that at this point in time. And here, it looks like there's going to be a little engagement, but we're just going to back off. And I actually do manage to bind Nunu, but we didn't want to go for the fight because Jarvan and Sona was there. 2 on 3, not something we really want to take on. So it's just not a good fight for us to take on. And yeah, not too much going on. A lot of people hanging out over here. One issue is we do need to get a ward by Baron. That is a pretty big issue, the fact that we do not have that ward right there. They could try to sneak it. if they really wanted to. But we do have a lot of champs around Baron, so we should be in okay shape as long as we can, you know, not be caught completely unaware by their maneuver right there. Then here, let's just get a couple of these, and oh, should have gotten that one, but oh well. So anyway, I do have the ward. I believe that I'm going to come up here and just ward Baron. I did pick up one ward, so want to get that. And blue is up, and Ketchup Bottle is doing a nice job of holding it for me. So I'm going to come down here, and there we go. And let's see, now I'm finally going to go back to buy, because you really do not want to be... Nope, actually, nope, not going back to buy. There looked like there was a fight going on up here. So I was like, all right, I got to help out here, but then it looked like everybody backed off. So I was like, okay, backing off, let's go back and buy. You really don't want to be sitting on this much gold. I mean, gold sitting in your inventory does nothing. Gold only helps if you actually convert it into items. So let's do that right now, shall we? Let's go and get that Rod of Ages. And there we go. And now there's enough gold to pick up a needlessly large rod. So this will go in towards either a Death Cap or a Zanya's Hourglass, one of the two. Haven't decided quite which one yet. Now, again, one problem with... Kinderkin, our Ashe player, being up here for so long is he's kind of left bottom lane by itself. So Scroto T is pushing this tower down here, and he actually popped his ult to get in extra damage. So kind of unnecessary to... I mean, it's one thing to go and contest objectives elsewhere, but you don't want to just give up a tower completely for free. I thought that I could actually maybe get a kill here, but then Scroto uses his ghost, and obviously I'm not going to catch him once he uses his ghost there. By the way, here comes an arrow, and... okay, yeah, I don't, maybe a little bit overly ambitious. So I had suggested that our Ashe player Kinnikin come down here and cover bot, and but when he didn't go down there, I went down here. So now we have two champs in bot, which is really unnecessary. But fortunately, our team just seems to be crushing top lane regardless. They've just scored 2 kills in a 3-on-4 fight up there. It looks like they still were able to get 2 kills though, so that's just our team being ahead. Anyway, I'm going to take advantage of this time to go and try to do our blue buff, or their blue buff, excuse me, try to take this one away from the team, just because it would be nice to deny it to Nunu on their side. However, here comes Sivir, and at this point I was like, okay, I need to get my binding, I need to finish this off with binding, and then right here, I'm actually going to miss. I mistimed it as Sivir hit it with that boomerang, so I was like, wow, that was pretty sloppily done. I really should have gotten that because it went down to like 30 HP and I easily could have gotten it. So instead I believe that Sivir got it. Yeah, Sivir got the buff. Anyway, so I'm going to go back here, and now Kinnikin, our Ashe player, now just notice the positioning here. Notice how he's completely by himself. There's really no word coverage. This is a very unsafe place to be right now because there's no teammates anywhere close by. So this, again, just a position that you don't really want to be in. And now here is the predictable result. Here comes Jarvan. Going to use Flash to try to get away, but there's the exhaust. Actually, no, there's an exhaust, there's an ignite, and this is just not looking good. So yeah, there is the kill. So again, that was just a function of being too far pushed up. He was pushed way up at this tower, and then Jarvan just ran down and around, and that was an easy kill for their team. So that was just a mistake. That was just a situation of being overpushed in a lane in a very unsafe position. Needed to have at least another teammate up there if we were going to do that. And I actually said on stream Ashe is going to die here right before it happened, so that's what that was referring to. Still, we're in great shape. I mean, we're way ahead in farm. We've taken both dragons. We're ahead 14-4. We have all of their initial towers down. Well, none of our towers has actually fallen yet. So we're in really great shape. Their team should probably be trying to force this dragon while Ashe was back reviving at base. See, Ashe was not here. They could have gone and forced a dragon, forced a 5v4 there, but they didn't choose to do so. And I guess that they may not have had the timer for dragon, but theoretically that's something they could have done. Meanwhile, over here, Mayakutsu is trying to put pressure on their red, but he's going to run into several members of the enemy team, and he's in a lot of trouble right now. Jarvan's going to use his ult, but it's a nice flash by Mayakutsu, flashing out of that Jarvan Cataclysm, so going to be okay. And with their whole team up there in the top part of the jungle, that means free dragon for us. So Ketchup Bottle going to recognize that as a good jungler and going to just jump on that and take the free dragon. So there we go, another 190 gold for all of us, and there it is, coming in. And hey, what am I doing? Farming the wraiths again. So again, you just want to be taking those wraiths over and over again if you're an AP mid. Both wraiths if possible. I mean, you don't want to steal them from your jungler, but if you can. Anyway, let's get back to that in a minute, but right there, a nice Ashe arrow initiating on the penguins right there. There's the knockup from Nautilus, and then I'm going to egregiously kill steal by tossing down my pool at the last second. But we did want to get that kill because we did want to take out penguins. So really, that was just an Ashe arrow, nice initiation right there. So now we've got the 5v4. And Ninja Squid's going to go in. I need to catch some with the binding. I'm going to catch Spreak away. So here comes out my Morgana ult, and It's not the best use of Morgult because I did only hit one person, but it's not terrible either. It is going to allow us to push on this tower. They only now have 2 members of their team. There's Sona coming out. Unfortunately, my binding is going to miss. I actually hit a minion right there. I should have held it until right there. If I had held my binding another 1 second, I could have fired it when Sona was like right here. Instead, I just fired the binding into a minion, hits nothing, and Sona gets away. So that was sloppy play on my part right there. Still 2 kills and another tower in mid. That's putting us in even better shape. So we're really in a pretty strong position right now. Up here, we were looking to try to go after their Riven player. Kevin plays LOL, but he backed, and as it turned out, it's like, nah, I can't really do anything here, so let's just go ahead and back. And at this point, again, need to watch Baron. We need to be careful that they don't rush Baron, and my blue's up, so I'm going to be heading there immediately. Now, in terms of itemization, I could have straight bought Zanya's Hourglass, but I looked at their team. I was like, okay, the reason to buy Zanya's Hourglass would be if their team is just doing tons and tons of physical damage. And I was looking here, I was like, well, their team is mostly physical. They have Riven, Sivir, and Jarvan, but none of them really seem that strong yet. I mean, Sivir just has a Wriggle... Excuse me, Riven just has a Wriggle's Lantern, Sivir only has a BF Sword, and Jarvan only has a Wriggle, so they're not really doing that much physical damage. So let's just go for more AP, and let's go for the Death Cap first. And I'll come back and get Zanya's Hourglass maybe next, or maybe potentially get some MR. Now right here, we go to Baron, and I'm like, look, Sivir's in bottom lane. If Sivir's down in bot, that means that we can force a Baron fight. So I'm going to start pinging it, and I'm going to type, you know, Sivir's bot, you know, like, hey, let's force this. Warwick's got the Oracle. If they have no wards, we can do this. However, we didn't check. We should have cleared that ward sooner. We could have cleared that ward faster. But, again, their team is not in position. They're not here, so we can do this. I actually thought we would have to back off, but then I realized, hey, wait, no, nobody on their team is here. We actually can force this, and we should be able to get this. Look how low it's getting. So there we go. Going to take that pretty easily. However, right here, going to miss the Ash Arrow initiate. Warwick's going to jump onto Riven right here, and all this Nunu ult is going to hurt really badly. Look at that damage right there. I'm going to have to flash out. I'm going to pop my ult right here. Penguins is going after me, but I'm going to use my Black Shield, and I'm going to spell vamp just barely enough life in order to survive his ultimate. Here comes Jarvan chasing after me. Jarvan is going to over pursue a little bit there. There's the binding, and that binding is going to save my life and kill him. So I am going to get that kill right there. And now we've got Warwick Blood Scent triggered, so Ketchup Bottle going to be chasing Penguins. Look at the slow from that snowball. Just kills his movement speed, but as soon as that's off, he's going to be able to go after. There's the flash, and there is the Hungering Strike, so that is going to be a kill. So we ended up going 2 for 2 in that exchange and took Baron, so clearly worth it overall. The only reason I was able to survive that fight is because I had flash up. I was able to flash out of that Nunu ultimate, which would have killed me for sure right afterwards. I did end up taking just a ton of damage from that Nunu ult. Again, Nunu's ult starts at 1-to-1, and if he gets the full channel duration, the AP ratio is actually 2.5-to-1. So yes, 2.5-to-1 if he gets the full channel. So anyway, we took a ton of damage from that, but I was able to flash out, and then I spell vamped enough life off of my ult and my Tormented Soil that I did not die from his ultimate, from his ignite. Anyway, right now we're just trying to get a little damage on the mid. We can't get that much damage because our whole team is revived. So we're not really going to be able to do too much. But notice this. I noticed Riven's low, and I was like, okay, if Riven chases me here, I can kill her with one combo. There we go. Binding, pull, ignite, and that's a free kill. So I was just thinking, I was like, you know, if she comes out here, I can kill her if I get my full combo off. So that's something you want to be thinking about as Morgana. It's like, if I can kill somebody, like if I hit a binding and pull and ignite, do I have enough damage to kill someone? And there it turned out to be true. So anyway, that worked out really well. Able to score another kill. And now we're going to have the 5v4 with Baron for the next 20 seconds. So we can look to do something. Up here, Mayakutsu is split pushing top. So they're going to have to send someone up there. And then the rest of us are down here in bot. I was like, well, I got a ton of gold, so I'd like to buy. But while Riven's down, we need to take advantage of this. We need to, you know, get something out of this while we still have the advantage of the 5v4. So we're going to push right here, and Riven is only just now up. So again, she's going to be able to make it back to get into this fight here. But again, Nunu is not quite there either. So again, if we're fast here, we can force a fight here that's advantageous. Jarvan's going to try to initiate, but I'm going to bind him right there. We're going to get a nice Ash Arrow. I'm going to pop that Morgult. Sivir is going to fall right here. Now we're focusing on Jarvan, and he's going to get finished off as well. I'm going to use my binding right there on Nunu, and now I'm going to toss down my pool. And what is that? What is that? Looks like that was a quadra kill. So yes, I ended up getting all of the kills right there. Not a penta, because Sona did make it out. Sona with mobility boots, able to run out of there. But yes, that went rather well for us, and we actually fought that a 4v5 because Shyvana was in top lane. But that's it. Surrender vote 5-0. And that is going to be game right there. So if you're going to end the game, way to go out with a bang right there with the quadra kill in the enemy base. All right, let's finish this one up. Look at the stat screen. Okay, well, it looks like I carried that one super hard, but the numbers are a little bit deceiving with the KDA there. Just because I got all 4 of the kills in that final team fight really did inflate my skill. I don't think that I dominated as hard as this scoreline makes it look. I did play a pretty solid game, but I wasn't like just smashing everyone in this game. I thought on our team that we had some really nice play from Ketchup Bottles Warwick. He did a really nice job. He controlled the jungle. He took all of the dragons. He was really looking to take those dragons, buying the pink ward, going over there to take it, and he really had control of the neutral buffs throughout this game. He also made sure that he got the smite correctly onto Baron right there. So a nice game right there, and some nice contributions from the rest of our team as well. Just the one minor note for Kinukin, just a little bit, just try to work a little bit on positioning. And on a champion like Ashe, you need a slightly different build. You don't want 2 Vampiric Scepters, and you need some attack speed in there because Ashe has no attack speed steroids. You need some kind of attack speed there. You don't really need another BF sword after that Infinity Edge. As far as the other team goes, poor Penguins, he really got hard countered blinds. Like, there wasn't a whole lot he could do against Morgana. It's just a bad matchup for AP Nunu, so there wasn't a whole lot that he could do in that particular matchup. And then as far as the other lanes go, I just didn't see enough of what was happening to really say one way or the other. I did think that Spreakaway had some pretty good ganks as Jungle Jarvan. He ended up getting half of their kills. He got 3 kills and he assisted on 2 others, so he was involved in virtually everything that their team did. So I thought he did a pretty good job. And as for the other lanes, I just didn't see enough of it in order to do too much commentary. Although I'm not a huge fan of that Sona build. I guess I'll just leave it at that. Okay, well, anyway, once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this. Wanted to give a chance to show another champion who I haven't talked too much about recently. Morgana has been perma-banned for much of the past few months, but she's not getting banned as much anymore, so she's very viable for a lot of ranked play and you know, draft pick normal play and such. So give her a try. She's very, very strong in lane, and she's a great team fighter. So she really is one of the better champions that you can play as far as AP mid goes. Anyway, again, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this, and continue to stay with the channel for more League of Legends stuff. Until then, take care, guys, and I'll see you soon.